Have you ever had a sudden thought of someone pop into your head out of nowhere, only for them to text or call you moments later? Or maybe you have felt a strange pull, like someone is watching you, even when they are not around. These aren't random moments. They could actually be real signs that someone has you on their mind. In this video, we are breaking down 5 of the clearest, most undeniable signs that someone is thinking about you, so you can finally know when it's more than just a coincidence. The first sign is that they suddenly come to your mind. When someone suddenly comes to your mind, that it often is a sign that they are thinking about you. The emphasis here is on the fact that it happened suddenly. Why? Because your mind works in a linear way, and when you think about someone, that happens gradually. When a sudden thought comes to your mind, like an interruption of your thoughts, that's a clear sign that someone can be thinking about you. Your mind and your aura, your energy surrounding your physical body, are acting both as radio transmitters and receivers, sending out and receiving thoughts and feelings all the time. Since this all happens in the spiritual world, it is not influenced by the distance between the two people. However, when you start thinking about someone more gradually, it is very likely that you created the thought. Some helpful tips. If you want to be more sensitive to other people thinking about you, then you can do 2 things. The first thing is that you can develop your mind through the practice of meditation. Meditation helps you get to know your own thoughts and thought patterns. This will help you tremendously when you want to differentiate between someone thinking about you or you thinking about them. The other practice is mindfulness. It helps you to clear your mind during the day, which will enable you to sense when someone else is thinking about you. If you think this is the only way you can figure out if someone is thinking about you, just wait until you hear the next one. So the second sign is when you have dreams about them. When you have a dream about someone, that can also mean that they are thinking about you. This is especially true when you have recurring dreams about someone. A few signs to pay attention to. When you remember your dreams, what matters most is how you felt. It matters a lot less what the dream was about. When they show up in your dream and it is positive or funny, it is likely that someone who is very aware is sending you a message or thinking about you. I wanted to share a funny story here. Whenever I didn't get some of the spiritual lessons from my spiritual teacher, he used to show up in my dreams and kindly and patiently explained it to me and guided me to the right direction. So over the years, my spirit learned this technique without me even noticing. It was about 10 years ago when my students and clients and friends started coming to me, telling me what kind of dreams they had with me when I was teaching them new spiritual lessons. It sounds fun, right? However, when your dream is filled with fears or desires, or it's messy and ridiculous, it's very likely you're not receiving messages from someone else's mind, but you're processing your own emotions that you were not able to deal with during the day. Nightmares definitely belong here. They generally show your fears, what you need to face. If you want to remember your dreams, then practice Tibetan Dream Yoga. There are some really cool books about it. It teaches you practices about how to wake up and be aware in your dreams, tell that you're dreaming, and how to control your dreams and how to remember them. It's a very powerful practice. Now, before I get into the next sign, which will totally blow your mind and change how you look at your work and personal relationships, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you never want to miss one of these signs again. The third sign is feeling the urge to do something for someone. Have you ever felt that you wanted to do something for someone, but you were not even sure why? This happens when someone wants you to do something for them and they have a lot of personal power and a strong mind and they focus on you. The more willpower they have compared to you, the stronger the urge will be. People with a lot of willpower like CEOs, managers, directors, executives, coaches, celebrities, they have a lot of personal power and they have powerful minds. And with that mind, they can create such a strong effect on you that you might not even know why, but you keep feeling that you really want to do what they may or may not have asked you to do. So here I want to talk a little bit about personal power, because this will help you understand it. This happens because of personal power. It is stored in your navel chakra, 2 inches below your belly button. Your personal power is your ability to get things done, achieve your goals, manage others, push yourself through internal or external difficulties, resist pressure, and your ability to make money. This is the primary energy that drives your career and your life. The more personal power you have, the more successful you will be. How can you develop your personal power? There are 3 powerful ways to develop personal power. The first one is practicing chakra meditation. Every time you focus on your navel, you will develop it. The second one is building a powerful career. And the third one, practicing martial arts. The biggest challenge that most people face is that they have some personal power, but they don't know how to develop it further. If you want to know how to develop personal power to succeed in your career and in your life, check out my playlist on personal power. If you think these are the only 2 ways to figure out if someone is thinking about you, just wait until you hear about the next one. Number 4, intuitive knowing. Have you ever had the experience that such a strong intuition came to you that you essentially knew that someone is thinking about you, who they are and what they want? This happens when you have intuitive knowing. This actually is a sign that you have good intuition. But the problem that most spiritually talented but untrained people have is that intuitive knowing rarely comes to. A fun story I have from the early days of my software engineering career. I was interviewing at JP Morgan Chase in San Francisco, where a bunch of people interviewed me, and at the end they asked me a final technical question to decide whether they want to hire me or not. I picked up on the fact that the project manager really liked me and wanted to hire me, so as I realized that I didn't know the answer for the last question, I looked at him, and within a split second I felt that he got it, and he thought about a simple answer, and I just said something confidently that I picked up from his mind instantly. So even though my answer was partial, he, as the decision maker, immediately jumped on it and said that, oh my God, this is great. That's what I would do too. So long story short, even though the lead developer didn't like my answer, he kind of like overpowered, and we had this very strong and positive psychic connection. And I don't have to say, within 24 hours, I got the offer from JP Morgan Chase. It was a very powerful experience. Imagine, when you know the question, it's easy to get a job. But what do you do when you don't know the answer for a question? All thanks to intuitive abilities that I developed throughout the years. So intuition can be developed by developing a clear mind through the practices of meditation and mindfulness. Intuitive knowing can be developed through consistent meditation. If you want to develop intuitive knowing to help yourself advance in life and in your career, then check out some of my content in meditation. I highly recommend the 4 biggest mistakes in meditation. If you think this is the only way you can figure out if someone is thinking about you, just wait until you hear about the last one. So number 5, a sudden shift in your emotional or mental state. If you are new to spirituality or not that experienced, then this can give you a really hard time at first. Under normal circumstances, your thoughts and emotions change gradually and very predictably. You might even notice when you think about something and then you think about something similar, right? They're always gradual. But when a sudden shift happens in your emotional or mental state, it is hard to catch, as we identify ourselves with our thoughts so much that we always think that all thoughts and emotions come from us. But that cannot be farther from the truth. Here I want to drop a secret that 98% of your thoughts come from your environment. Think about that for a minute. When a sudden shift happens in your emotional or mental state, that often shows that a person is affecting you externally. It can be a person standing next to you or your family member. It can be anyone. But somebody who you have a connection to, either in your physical environment or mentally, emotionally. There are 3 sources where these sudden shifts can come from when your emotions or your mental state changes. First one, another person who you are connected to, as I mentioned. The second one, a place that you visit. The more powerful a place is, the stronger the shift that can happen to you and the quicker it is. Or the third one is you yourself went through a big energy shift. So in this case, it comes from internally. A common mistake that most people fall for is getting confused and start thinking that someone else's thoughts and emotions are their own. So pay attention when you go through a sudden mental or emotional shift. If it's a positive one, no worries, right? But if it's a negative one, always consider your environment first. And that's why mindfulness is so important. You get it out of your mind, and it comes back a couple of times, you get it out of your mind, and you might be able to save a lot of suffering for yourself just by being mindful and getting negative thoughts out of your mind. Create some space for yourself. Be aware of your thoughts so that you can figure out where it might be coming from. And if it's not you, you can let it go. And even if a negative thought comes from you, you can still let it go. That's why mindfulness is so powerful. And more people are becoming aware of it. Be mindful and never identify yourself with negative thoughts in your mind and negative emotions in your heart. Because you might be experiencing them, but you are not them. They're just clouds in the sky going through your mind. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you never want to miss one of these signs again. And stay tuned for more cool spiritual videos. Cheerio.